Hi everyone, hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the structure of a solution focus session. So I was recently delivering some training and I was showing a clip from a client session of mine, and one of the trainees had a sort of slightly quizzical look on their face as we were watching this clip. So I just inquired and I said, if you've got a question about this. And they said, well, I'm just trying to figure out where this fits in the process. Where does this fit in the structure of a solution focused session? So I just thought I'd offer some thoughts. There will be differing thoughts out there, but this is from my perspective, my thoughts on the solution focused structure and process. And I would say that there are three main components to the structure of a solution focused session or solution focused working. There are other bits and pieces, there are other ways that you can break it down, but in my mind, it's quite helpful to view it as sort of three main components. The first of those is the best hopes or the desired outcome of the client. So that's essentially, what is it that they want from our work with them? What is it that they want to get out of coming to sessions, coming for support? What is their hope? What is their desired outcome? And typically that comes at the beginning of our work with someone and sort of provides the basis, the foundation for everything we do after that point. So in terms of structure, you'd normally see that best hopes or that desired outcome discussion at the very beginning of our work with someone. And then occasionally you might check in with the client further down the line to see, are we still going in the right direction here? Have their hopes, their desired outcome, changed or developed at all, or are we still going on the right trajectory in their mind? So that's the first kind of main component, the best hopes, the desired outcome, which usually comes at the start. And then the other two, we have the preferred future, which is essentially, descriptions or rich description of what the client would like their life to be like, what the client's life would be like if their hopes and their desired outcomes were achieved. So description of this sort of, almost ideal future, but a future where their hopes, their desired outcomes are achieved. And then we also have instances of success, which is the last main component, which is looking back on events, moments, times, achievements, successes in the past, which go some way to suggesting that actually the client's hopes and desired outcomes are achievable. Okay. So, if someone wants to be happy again, and instances of success might be to ask, so when was the last time that you were happy? Tell me about that occasion. So they're sort of moments, times, achievements, successes in the past where actually there's some evidence that it's possible to reach their hopes, to reach their desired outcomes. And in terms of structure, usually if you watched certainly my sessions, and I think probably Greg and Beaver's as well, if it's the first session with someone, you would usually see best hopes, preferred future, then instances of success. It tends to be the order. And then if you were watching us do a follow-up session with someone, you'd probably see instances of success first, and then maybe some preferred future afterwards. However, so that's the sort of main broad structure. But the caveat here in the however is that as you develop your solution focused practice more and more, you will probably find yourself being increasingly flexible with that order, increasingly comfortable and flexible with moving between certainly those two last main components, the preferred future and the instances of success, because ultimately we want to be as led by the client as possible. We want to be leading from one step behind, following the client's words, incorporating their words in our questions. And it's okay to weave in and out of those two components, I think, providing that we cover them both, providing that we don't forget to do one or the other. So how does that look in practice? Well, I might be having an instance of success conversation with someone where, let's say, they're telling me about how they've overcome some social anxiety. And they might say something like, you know what, I'm really pleased with how I stepped out of my comfort zone and spoke with some people I didn't know, but I wish that I could do it with a bit more confidence. Now, there's kind of options there for us as practitioners. We can keep going down the instance of success route of, so how did you manage to do that? How did you manage to step outside of your comfort zone? And we can also go down a preferred future route of saying, okay, so next time you want to do it with more confidence. Well, let's suppose that that happens. Let's suppose that next time you step outside of your comfort zone and speak to someone, you do so with more confidence. How will you know? And both of those routes of conversation are, within the solution-focused kind of way of working, and both are potentially valuable. And I think, the order, the exact order, the exact structure doesn't matter so much as long as we can bear both of those things in mind and at some point in the conversation, explore both of those avenues and see, which is most helpful. Well, actually, we don't even need to know which is most helpful to the client. We can trust that, they will take the best bits from the conversation that they need. They will take what's important from them. So I think that's some thoughts from me, an answer from me on the structure. Yes, there are some main components, but also it doesn't need to be too rigid. If we're truly paying attention to the client, if we're paying attention to their answers and to their language, then actually we can be a bit flexible, especially when we're talking about moving and weaving in between preferred futures and instances of success. All right, I hope that was helpful, guys. We look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.